But I don't see the answer in this video.
That was like the chart. Here, Kans, this is going to happen to you. This is going to happen to you based on your samskars and your karmas. So now we could all be sad about Kans.
I know, I still feel sad. At least be smiles a little. Namaste World Risers, Sabine and Roger here. Let's watch Sister Shivani at the Ranveer Show talking about destiny.
Yeah. So this was actually a request from our wonderful Patreon Dean, and he did it during one of our Mahabharat full-length watch-alongs, because I'm always talking about destiny. When we're talking about the Mahabharat and the events that transpired, you know, we feel like it was unavoidable and it was destiny and fate and it was meant to happen that way and there was no alternative to the way that it happened. And then he mentioned and recommended this video to help us get a better understanding of destiny. So I'm really looking forward to this because, of course, I'm open to new ideas, especially if I'm wrong in my understanding. So let's find out about destiny and fate. And if you're still wondering, yes, we are still watching the full-length Mahabharat videos. We haven't stopped. That's just happening for Patreons and members only right now. So if you're interested, links are in the description. And please join us because we have not stopped.
There's another topic that people wonder about a lot nowadays, and that's the topic of astrology and astrological charts and cosmic influences on our lives.
Yes.
And it's something that I've laughed at again in the past, that, oh, you know, this is not real, etc. And I've just come to realize that there is some logic behind it. Yes. And I've got into reading about it as well.
Yes.
You know, and be it like the Western school of thinking, which talks about sun signs, be it the Indian, Egyptian astrological charts, which talk about Rahu, Ketu and all these things. They are all linked. They are all kind of connected from a sort of scientific perspective, almost like the mathematics of all of them are the same. But lots of people don't understand it. And after we've spoken about meditation, willpower, etc., I'd love for you to kind of give people a briefing on where your astrological charts have an influence on your reality of life. For example, you know, when they have 12 houses of astrology and one's supposed to represent your personality, one represents your married life, one represents your career, etc., etc. A lot of times that could be true if it's read out by like a high level astrologer, you know, someone who knows their stuff. He'll or she will say some very accurate things about you. And that's how people even get into astrology. My understanding is that all of this melts away when you get into your sadhana or meditation. But I would love to hear it from your perspective. And how much truly melts away? You know, that's the other
Depends on the individuals.
Okay.
Yeah? So what is the astrological chart? It is something that was prepared a day or two after the baby was born. For most families. A child is born and they will get the chart prepared. Child has not done any karma and the destiny chart is prepared. That at the age of 10, this will happen. At the age of 20, this will happen. And then we'll get married and then we'll have 2 children. And at this age, it's not going to be very good for 7 years or 5 years. Everything is written down very, very clearly. Written on the basis of the child has not done any karma. So if karma creates my destiny, how is it that my destiny chart is prepared before I've done any karma? So obviously because it's the destiny chart of the soul, not the destiny chart of this body. So it has nothing to do with this age. So I, the soul, am in this costume and this is my last minute. I'm about to leave. Till this last minute, my every karma and sanskar is on the soul and I leave the body. I leave everything behind. But the only thing I take with me is my karma and my sanskar. So I will call this last minute as the closing balance sheet. That's your closing balance sheet. The soul enters into the womb of the mother. Couple of months later, a baby is born and the destiny chart is prepared. That is the opening balance sheet. So the opening balance sheet is going to be identical to the closing balance sheet.
Gotcha.
Identically yogi na. Our 31st March closing balance sheet in India is next day, 1st April, it's the opening balance sheet. So what is in the 31st March closing balance sheet? The way I did business in this financial year. So they could be good, they could be bad, they could be profit, they could be my every transaction will come there. And now I take this whole bunch of transaction into, I've just changed a costume. For the soul, it's nothing, just another day. But I've changed the costume. So that balance sheet is now the opening balance sheet, which is given to the family 2 days after the baby is born. What is it based on? It is based on the sanskar and the karma that the soul has come with. Astrology means the science of the influence of the planets on my sanskar. And this I've discussed with an astrologer, a very senior one of India. And I said, I went to him very raw because I would not study this for myself. I've never studied it or seen it.
You don't know your own? Okay.
Because I'm sure it's changed. It's not as per what was in the chart. My parents would have known it otherwise. It's not.
And it's changed based on the lifestyle and decisions you made in this life.
Yeah, because that was only the opening balance sheet. That is what is very important. What many of us do is keep referring to the opening balance sheet as if that is the way life is going to be. It is the opening balance sheet only based on my yesterday. Yesterday means whatever I've come with. So influence of planets on the sanskar. Meditation is going to melt what? My sanskars. So whatever sanskars change in this lifetime, for the good or sometimes not for the good. So with meditation, I can change my sanskar for the good, sometimes due to any other influence or my sanskar changes towards the other side also. The influence of the planet will change. And so those predictions where your sanskar has changed will not turn out to be true. Those predictions where your sanskar has not changed will turn out to be true. And so if anyone goes with their astrological chart at whichever age, they will see that some things have turned out to be as per in the chart and some things have not turned out to be as per in the chart, depending on how much change the soul has created. Which means, did you change your way of doing business in this financial year? So somebody can come with profit, very good karmas of the past. Suppose they do not do some good karmas in this, their profit balance sheet will now start shifting towards a loss. Somebody could come with heavy losses, but if they do, so like meditation or whatever method they choose, they start doing good karma, good sanskar, the balance sheet of this financial year will go towards good profit. So the prediction will not always turn out to be
It's
true.
like your default settings, which can be like...
That is the beginning setting actually. It's not even a default setting. It is the beginning. It's like, okay, again, now we go back to you. Last night's meal, upset stomach. I'm sorry, I'm using
No,
it
it's
as
all
a
good.
reference,
It's all
but it's
good.
making sense. The last night's meal, upset stomach in the morning. No problem. Last night's karma, present consequence. If you again go and have a very heavy breakfast now, so then you're again doing a similar type of karma, which means your sanskar is making you eat, in spite of learning that it didn't suit me well, you are forced to do it through your sanskar because you're not changing your sanskar. So if you go and again have something which is not right for your body or you overeat, the same consequence is going to come again. And then your doctor will say, I told you this will happen again. They told you based on your sanskar this morning because of what you ate last night. But if after what happened today, you say, okay, today I'm going to eat less, I'm going to eat light, I'm going to eat healthy, your destiny is going to change today. So you are the creator of your destiny. Similarly, if you take a blood test today, let's say, and you go to a doctor, he'll see your present parameters. If my sugar is on the borderline, based on my lifestyle, and the doctor says, okay, if you continue like this, probably within 6 months or 1 year, we are on the borderline of diabetes. I come back home, that is my destiny chart, my blood report, and I say, oh, but what to do? I can't change my lifestyle, late nights, work, and I don't have time to exercise. Victim of my lifestyle. Then I will definitely get diabetes, probably even before the prediction, because now I always also have an added stress of my health. But if someone comes back and says, okay, today this change, this change, this change, and this change, I never get diabetes in this lifetime. So the scientific prediction was true. What the doctor said was true. But it was based on my today's lifestyle and my today's blood report. If I change my lifestyle tomorrow, so the astrological prediction is only a prediction. So the word prediction needs to be underlined. It's only a prediction, which means it's a probability. Reality will be decided by the individual. But many people will consume the probability
And make the reality happen.
it their reality. So I personally prefer not to consume the probability, because why?
Yeah.
Let's create the best of karma. And if something has to happen because I've passed consequence, we'll face it with dignity.
Yeah.
But if the mind consumes information of a probability, then many minds are not able to rise above that and create a different reality. So astrological prediction is a science of the probability of what can happen in my life based on my current sanskars and the karma that I have come with. You start meditation, start changing your lifestyle, and you will change your sanskar, and the probability will be different from what the reality you will create.
Boom.
Yeah.
What an important topic.
Yeah, that was fantastic, right? So cutting to the root of the real problem. I love how she called it a science based on, kind of who you are now, which includes your karma and your sanskars, your habitual tendencies and your delusions and your ignorance, right? So basically your level of consciousness, that you're at, and then that's your, your balance sheet, because that's what the probability is based on. Are you going to keep repeating the same actions throughout this lifetime? And for most people, if they don't get on the path, spiritually, or seek meditation or, therapy or whatever the case may be that can alleviate or lessen those samskars, then the same patterns are going to continue. And then that chart would be very accurate. Yeah. So samskara, impressions. Okay, so impressions of the mind. So very much recollections, psychological imprints, habitual tendencies, delusions. Is exactly what it is, right? So, the mind stream, right? It gets attached to certain behaviors, right? So I love it how she addressed, the closing balance sheet, like wherever you are, how, your soul is collected, and then when it enters the next rebirth, that balance sheet is going to be the same, right? So, because I also heard too on my journey is that the best time to actually make spiritual progress and advance spiritually is, right now, like within this human body, because once you leave, as a soul that is not incarnate, you're not getting, the information, you're not contemplating, you're not thinking, you're not meditating, you're just basically in limbo. Maybe you're fortunate enough to go to a different realm, a higher realm, if that's your, karma, if you've made significant progress. But for most regular everyday people, no, it's going to be, reincarnating into the next, lifetime, and then you're going to have the same karma and the same delusions. So then that's the beginning, that's the balance sheet. And I can see how the astrologers, because even in Tibetan Buddhism, we learned about, them predicting things in the astrology, and even being able to locate where, 𝐀𝐻𝐿𝐽s are gonna, take birth. It's very incredibly accurate science. That's astrology. That's astrology as well, right? So they're basically taking the balance sheet and then they're predicting, kind of which direction and, finding a suitable, because they know that wherever your balance sheet is, you're going to be born into a family that is receptive to that, level, right?
But in order to create a balance sheet, they have to be highly developed beings. Like, they have to have some clairvoyant,
No, we all create balance sheets.
How?
Because, the balance sheet is just saying it's the statement of all your karmas and your samskaras.
Yeah, but how do you know?
Everybody has that.
Yeah, you could create your own balance sheet right now?
No, I'm not creating it, like writing it all down.
But they do.
Yeah, the astrologers
That's
do.
what I mean.
Oh, that's what you mean.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like people don't create them, but we always have it.
Yeah, we always have it, but I say
Not as
the astrologer who does the sheet has to be clairvoyant or something, like.
Yeah, totally.
But it sounds like every Indian person has a
Well,
balance sheet.
no, I think you're mistaken as to the balance sheet. The balance sheet isn't actually something that's physically created. The chart is created from your balance sheet. So they invest.
Okay, but it's almost the same, isn't it? The chart.
No.
They have to have some clairvoyance into your karma, into your
Yeah,
person.
exactly. Yeah. So they do, absolutely, right? And then they create the, the astrological chart, right?
Let us know if you have one, because it sounded like
Yeah, everybody gets
has
them.
one, well, she doesn't. But
So in India, so is that still a really big thing? Do you guys have them?
That's
Does
incredible.
everybody get them? Because yeah, that's not something that we're doing
because
in the West.
imagine billions of Indians and how many astrologers, like how many true astrologers are there? Like they can't be like
Yeah.
to serve 1 billion children
That are
being
like-
born every day.
Yeah, totally. So
No,
it's
not
mind-boggling.
every day,
But anyways, in that chart, I can see how she also mentioned that knowing your chart could actually, actually increase the fortitude of the imprints, because if you think that something's going to happen that way and then you're holding that in mind, that increases the likelihood of it happening that way.
Where's the point then of a chart?
I'm not sure.
I honestly still don't see the point of the chart, but I think still she touched on very, very important things, and that is that, yeah, as you said, we have our destiny in our hands right now, and
Yeah.
that nothing is written. Nothing is written. Everything can always change, like moment to moment. Like the future is completely. Help me.
Totally. The future is uncertain. Like, it's not going to be exactly as, the chart predicts, right? Based on, your intention and your desire to, make it different, right?
Yeah.
So if you're aware of it, so it can be beneficial if you're using it to be like, okay, that'll happen if I don't take action to make it not happen, right? So we really do have control of our own destiny. So that being said, so the whole reason we're watching this video is because, yeah, the reason Dean recommended it was especially for 𝐀𝐻𝐿𝐴, because we were really confused, about 𝐻𝐿𝐴 and then why he was told. He was told that God was going to come and kill him.
Yeah, but I
basically.
think, but I don't see the answer in this video.
Yeah, the answer is that was like the chart. Here, 𝐻𝐿𝐴, this is going to happen to you. This is going to happen to you based on your samskaras and your karmas. God is going to come and kill you. That's going to be the consequence of your actions. And then he was told that, openly, so that he could change. He could still choose to change his destiny. But of course, we know that he didn't.
Oh my God.
But he could have.
It was a blessing then. It was like trying to help him.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Exactly.
Here I thought, oh, it's your destiny anyways, so why tell him? But yes, of course, they gave him a chance.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never seen it that way. Oh,
Yeah, so-
oh no, I'm really sad because 𝐻𝐿𝐴 is my third favorite character in this show so far. The actor is phenomenal, and then he died.
Ah.
I was so sad.
And
I
it
would
was-
have loved to see like the rest of this character, this actor. Anyways.
And you can even see the same scenario, except coming directly from Lord Ram in the Ramayana, where he warned Ravan, right? So Ravan got many warnings. Ram just said, "Return Sita to me, apologize, or even don't apologize, and you can continue to be king, but return to me what is mine, my wife, and then you can continue to live, and rule." But he never did, even though he was given many opportunities to change.
Interesting.
And then, of course, he didn't.
Okay.
But so we can see it as, even if we don't have a chart, we can reflect, what are my behaviors? What are my delusions? What are my habitual tendencies, manifesting for me in my life? And do I want to continue that way? And then project yourself into the future and say, because even Tony Robbins, I think we do that practice as well, in the UPW, where you envision what's the future going to look like if you don't change, right?
Brutal.
What will the future look
Literally
like if you
brutal.
don't change your behaviors
Yeah.
and your actions? So ultimately really pointing to taking advantage of this most precious human rebirth, to be on the spiritual path. Like if you're watching these kinds of videos, you know that spirituality is something. It's a reality, the consciousness, the soul, it does exist, beyond the body. Something continues to exist. What is that? Investigate and then, seek to purify it. There's nothing more important. And that's how we raise ourselves.
And raise the world. Oh, sweet. Thank you so much, Dean. That was, very, very beautiful and, helpful.
Very helpful. So now we could all be sad about Can.
I know. I still feel sad.
I miss him.
I miss
Right?
him.
We're gonna have to watch some of those episodes again.
At least Beach Boys a little.
Yeah, his laugh. I miss it.
Okay.
But anyways, thanks guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining
Dean,
us.
We love you, and we love all
let us-
especially all our Mahabharat commentators.
Yeah, leave some comments. Let us know what you think, and join us for full-length Mahabharat watch-alongs. They're still happening right now. Peace.